So my spirit guide, Mother Mary, came to me and wanted me to share with you how creation helps your path of awakening. What is your path of awakening, and how you're exercising your creative muscle is going to actually accelerate your path of awakening, she's saying. So we're going to get to that. We're going to invoke in Mother Mary first, because she's the spirit guide that came forth that wants to share with you her amazing blessings and guidance. And if you haven't been here before, you know I'm going to be working on her to bring her to life more. And again, this is about creating sacred space for not only here in my art studio, but in your art studio. And wherever you are, you want to create that sacred space. And most importantly, not just a sacred space in the physical space, but the sacred space within yourself, because that's the most important sacred space, is how do you actually awaken your sacred true self, your God-realized self. Some call it enlightened self. Everybody has a different name, but it's all the same. How do you get to who you truly are, your spiritual self? So let's ring in this bell, inviting in Mother Mary, inviting in any other spirit guides. You can invoke whoever that you connect with, but we're going to be bringing in Mother Mary, because she's the one that guided me to share this with you about this exercising your creative muscle, being an accelerator in your path of awakening, because you are a divine being. You may not acknowledge that, you may not know it, but you are. And you are meant to be successful. You are meant to feel connected to your higher power. You are meant to be creative, and you are meant to have whatever it is that your heart's desires, because those heart's desires are God, our spirit, speaking through to you. So let's start now, just focusing on closing your eyes for a moment and taking that deep belly breath, where the belly rises with the inhalation and falls with the exhalation. And when I ring this bell, I want you to say hello. Hello, God. Hello, Spirit. Whatever name you use. And I'm going to say hello to Mother Mary, because she's the one that's going to give me the downloads to share with you about exercising your creative muscle and what exactly the path of awakening is. All right? So let's now focus again on your breath. Taking that deep belly breath, where the belly rises with the inhalation and falls with the exhalation. And on that next deep belly inhalation, just draw on the energy of focus. And on the exhalation, let go of any distractions, any business of the day. And continue to breathe in and out. On that next deep belly inhalation, I'm going to ring the bell, and we're going to draw on the energy of Mother Mary, of the spirit guide of Mother Mary, okay? So deep breathe in. And say, hello, Mother Mary. Hello to my spirit guides. Hello, God. Hello to my one true self. Because this is all about awakening the sacred space within you, inviting that sacred divine presence into your physical space and into your inner space, and saying hello. And then saying thank you, thank you for the blessings, so that you be open to receive the blessings of the guidance, not just the knowledge, but the blessings to transform you, to give you an experience within you, outside you, all around you, of experiencing your awakening. Just feel the vibration, knowing that that sound of the bell is a blessing from Mother Mary, infusing it with the ability to feel the divine sacred energy within yourself. You feel the vibration of the bell as the vibration of higher power, of spirit. And say thank you for those blessings. So she's saying that first step is honoring that you're this divine being. So I'm going to light this flame of this ghee lamp to allow the fire, the flame of transformation, to bring transformation to you. So just allow the energies of the ghee lamp, the fire, to transform whatever belief, whatever struggle you've had, to give it over to the divine energy of higher power, of Mother Mary. I'm going to bring it here to the spirit guide portal because we're going to be painting her in a bit after we share her message. Om, 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 Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivadanam Urvarikabandhanat Vicho Mokshamamritat. Om, Om, Om Bhuvaha, Om Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Tatsavitur Vadinyam Bhargo Devasya Dimahi Diyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om. She's asking me to light the Palo Santo. So sometimes we do the ritual with you, and sometimes I do it before. But today she wanted me to help you do this ritual so you can release what you need to release, so you can be open to the guidance and the message. Because she's saying one of the important things on the path of awakening, on your path of awakening, is you being receptive. And I'm going to clear my energy, and I'm going to clear the energy for you so you can pull in some of that. Just bring it in. You might be thinking, how can this work when we're in a different place? But you know that we're all one. It all comes through the ethers if you're open and receptive to it. And so she wants to you to be receptive, because for your creative muscle to exercise it, to allow yourself to receive the intuitive downloads, the messages, the higher guidance, the transformation within your consciousness, because those are all the things that are going to help you in your path of awakening, right? Becoming enlightened, becoming more spiritually advanced, growing spiritually, whatever it is that you call it, okay? Mother Mary is saying that you have to first empty the cup before you can fill it up. Because what happens? If it's full, it's kind of like, it's a big mishmash and a mess. And she's kind of showing me this image of like this cup just overflowing all over the place and making a big mess everywhere. And so she's saying in order to receive the blessings from higher guidance, to receive the gifts that you're going to get from exercising your creative muscle, you have to release what's no longer serving you. Now, you may not know what's not serving you, she's saying, but the idea is if you make the intention, the consciousness, the habit of going, let me release this. I see this isn't working, let me release it. And so your path of awakening, she's saying, is a journey. Most people are looking to become awakened, and they think it's a destination of like, if I find that one point, I'll be enlightened, I'll be God realized, and I won't have any problems anymore. Have you felt that way? I'd be curious. Please share if you want to, because I know I meet a lot of people who do. They keep like, when I work with clients in my mentoring programs, my coaching programs, to help them with their gifts and manifesting what their heart's desires are, they often will feel frustrated because they feel like they haven't arrived yet. But yet I can see a clear difference between them when they first started working with me and where they are at that point. And when I point out the differences, they go, oh yeah, but they forget. So she wants you to understand that on the path of awakening, you kind of need to she's saying, show me a notebook, take notes, she's saying, and not notes like to write down everything that Mother Mary's saying in this message, but that to take note of where you were when you began and where you are now, okay? And so you would maybe check in every month and go, okay, at the beginning point of my journey of awakening, and this might not be your beginning, you may have been on this path of awakening for several years, okay? But you still, if you've never ever been able to see progress in your path of awakening, then you want to do what Mother Mary's saying here, because she's saying that you want to write down, like what are the areas that you want to see or what you think you're going to get when you're fully awake, okay? And she wants me to share with you like what I thought when I first got on the path of awakening many, many years ago, okay, on the spiritual path of growing spiritually. You know, I wanted to be what they would call enlightened, God realized, because I thought when I was enlightened and God realized that I would never get angry. I would be patient with everybody. I would, be able to be into this, like, know the truth in every situation. And so I kept waiting for that to happen. And when I was first on, if I hadn't been the way that I am naturally wired, which is if I can get a little bit of progress, that I would celebrate that. But she's saying most people don't do that. They are like, if they fail to be the most enlightened, patient, loving, joyful, whatever you're looking for in your path of awakening of what you think that destination is, she says you're going to feel like you're failing and get off the path of awakening because it's a journey. It's not a destination. Because even when you think you've gotten what you are, when you're there, Spirit is continually expanding, and you're going to continue to expand, okay? So you want to look at the path of awakening as a journey that you're uncovering your true self, a journey of your releasing those false beliefs, those limiting beliefs that keep you from being fully awake. And so she's saying that path of awakening is being able to notice the progress you're making. Because if you don't notice the progress, you're going to give up or you're going to be frustrated. And so you want to take notes. Now, it could be mental notes if you're really good at being observant and realizing where you were when you began and where you are in like a month later, 6 months later, a year later. But if you're not, you want to take an actual journal, a notebook, someplace. If it's in your phone, it's okay, she's saying, but a place where you can date it and say, at this point where I am, what I would like to see in my spiritual growth is maybe that I trust my intuition, or that I have more patience, or that I'm calmer, that I don't worry or have anxiety. Because these are all outer signs that can tell you you're making progress. So think about what is where you are right now, she's saying, and what would you like to see different? If you had arrived at your path of awakening, what is it that you want? To be maybe calm and joyful? To maybe it's you want to be enlightened where you can like know when someone's telling the truth or not. Or you get those intuitive downloads that you know what the right decision is for you, okay? Whatever, you can choose, but you can use some of those examples if that you went, that's one, I want that, you can use that. But then you start to look at it and go, am I making progress? Here's where I started. I don't trust my intuition. I'm not very calm. I'm anxious, I worry, I get frustrated a lot, whatever those are, okay? Or maybe it's you feel overwhelmed, like you can't handle things, because that could be something you want to grow in. It's not feeling overwhelmed when situations happen in your life. So think about what that is, that progress that you would like if you were already awakened, how you would be. And then you write down where you are. And she's saying, it's good if you pick one right now, because if you look at everything, it might be where you won't see progress or feel that you might get overwhelmed trying to, make change or something in too many areas. Not that she's saying to make change at the moment. She's just wanting you to right now to do this, because this is the path of awakening. The journey of awakening is about starting to check in with yourself, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and what are you wanting to improve upon? What would you like to see different than you have now? And then begin your journey and checking in. She's saying if you can do it weekly, even better, but at least once a month so you can kind of see like what progress am I making, okay? So she's saying to be willing to do that. Now, she's also talking about the reason why she wanted me to talk about creation time is for your awakening, is because being in the creative process of making something, bringing something forth that you love is so important in your spiritual growth. So she wants me to share with you, because you might be your first time here, and if you haven't, it must be something in this story you need to hear again, okay? But many years ago, I started painting and creating paintings. I learned how to paint, and I wanted to create Yogananda, and I don't think he's yet. You can't see him anywhere. I've got him over there right now. But I wanted to create him so that people would feel his power and his energy. Now, I followed that divine inkling, because I always call these little inklings. Intuition starts with inklings that you get, all right? And what do you do most of the time, probably, if you're not trusting your intuition? What, you squish, right? You squish it by saying that's not logical, that's not practical, that's, not realistic, or I just don't have time, because you think you don't have time when it really is a choice of what do you want to make time for, okay? But you squish it. So I followed that inkling of I want to do this, and I had this amazing experience. I just started to follow what I was being told to do. Like I owned the canvas. I started listening to Yogananda's voice because I wanted the painting to be infused with his power and his energy. I would pray before and I came up with a whole ritual of what to do to infuse the spiritual vibration, the higher consciousness into this painting. At the time, I didn't call it a spirit guide portal because I hadn't progressed that far. I just knew I wanted to do it. So, okay, got it all done. A co-artist said, oh, Yogananda's in the house, gives me a thumbs up. But I'm just like, oh, it looks pretty good. But that wasn't the amazing part of the story. The amazing part of the story was that I put Yogananda up to dry, and I came back and checked it a week later, and somebody who I'd never seen before in the art studio comes up to me and says, did you paint Yogananda? And I said, oh, yes, I am. I'm the one who painted him. She goes, oh, I just have to tell you, when I look at this painting, I feel his power, and I feel his energy, and I feel like I'm being blessed by him. And on the outside, and she also added, and I know because I'm a disciple of his. And on the outside, I went, oh, thank you. But on the inside, I was like, oh my God, it worked. And so from there, I continued to do that with other paintings. And then I started to, lo and behold, from being a non-visual person who never saw anything in a guided meditation or couldn't visualize, I was meditating one day and visions started coming in. So I'm not going to keep on telling you the whole story, but that's the thing here was me exercising my creative muscle and bringing together my intuitive desires and bringing spiritual tools and practices together. It awakened my spiritual gift. A gift I never had before all of a sudden coming, and I realized these visions were spirit guides, and I'm giving you Reader's Digest version here, and then those spirit guides started giving me downloads and saying, I want you to create me as a spirit guide portal for people to connect with, and so I started to put this, and then I got, why I'm painting here, is I was given guidance to start creating my spirit guide portals to share with you to help create that sacred space. Okay, so this creation time, she's going to share more, but she's telling me to check the comments, say hi to people, and then we're going to get painting, and she's going to share more about the creative muscle that you need to exercise. So, hello to Salted Slug. I think I'm just going to call you Salted. And Elaine, hi, thank you. And oh, I'm glad that you love the story, Lil. I know you've probably heard it before, but thank you all for being here. And I invite you to, if you have something that you, a creative project that you have always wanted to work on it, because this is about creation time for your awakening. Because Mother Mary's saying about when you actually create, um, that it connects you. When you do a prayer before, like I did a prayer, a ritual, I did a couple of Sanskrit chants because I just felt like I was supposed to do this today. She's saying that this energy has been activated for you in your space, your physical space and your inner space. And so if there's something you love to make or create, whether it's knitting, painting, woodwork, or even if it's baking, she's saying, bring it forth and do it with Mother Mary, because Mother Mary wants to bless you with her blessings of you connecting with your creative muscle, which is your creative self. Okay, because we all have this creativity within us. Some squish it, some allow it to come forth, where we love to make things. You might even love just making a video, or love making origami. You know, who knows what it is you love doing, but if you have something you love, to actually take it out, because Mother Mary says that she wants you to start creating with us. And she says by you creating, it's going to make you more receptive. And she's saying if you don't have anything, like you're not honored or acknowledged, something that you would love to start doing as a creative process, she's saying if you can, take out a pen or pencil and paper and just allow yourself to doodle. Like, what are you going to doodle, she's saying? Because even that, it's a lot about, let me invite in spirit to help me with my creative muscle so I can become aware of what I love to do. So she wants me to share with you. So for me, I love making things. So I make lots of things. I make, I just recently learned how to knit, and I don't know how to make a whole lot, but I've been working on just making a little a scarf, where I'm just going back and forth right now, because but whatever it is that you love, let yourself do it, because she's saying that creative process will start to awaken your ability. So she's saying the creative muscle, when combined with understanding the spiritual laws and truths, starts to awaken within you your spiritual gifts. And when you're on the path of awakening, maybe all you want is to be more patient. Maybe you're not wanting to, like, trust your intuition or get intuitive downloads. Maybe you just want to be more patient. She's saying she's saying that's a high aspiration, that to want to be more patient. Because she's saying that so many people are living in the future of, oh, I'm going to be late. Oh, I have to hurry up. Oh, I'm going to this, I'm going to that. That patience has gone out the window. She's saying that we've become this, I want an instantly society, instantaneous society, and we've lost the art of patience. And that patience is actually a spiritual virtue, because, I never even thought about this, but she's saying because there's this law called the law of gestation, and the law of gestation is just, there's a gestation period from everything that you want to manifest, from your heart's desires to when it comes into physical form. And we don't know what that gestation period is. So she's saying that patience is important in growing spiritually. I never thought about this. This is, whenever I get a download that I'm like, I never even thought about this, I always know that this is definitely coming from Spirit. So I'm wondering, she's wanting me to ask, how many people have struggled with patience, especially with nowadays, with everything being now, click, 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 we hurry up. We want the the next page on our internet, on our browser to load faster, or there not to be a line, or the traffic to move faster. She's saying that if you just focus on patience and with your creative muscle, because she's saying when you are creating something, you have to have patience to go through the process of learning. And when you cultivate that patience, and she's not just saying learning how to create the thing that you want to create, but also learning how to, how is she saying this? She's saying that you have to cultivate patience because you, one, need to learn your craft, but she's saying also you need to learn that you have to go through a process, because when you're taking something from the ethereal, the energetic form, to the physical form, you don't know what that gestation period is. And she's telling me to tell you, the reason why you don't know what it is, like we do on the physical plane, like if you're growing a carrot, the farmers know how long that is. If you are a woman and having a baby, it's approximately 9 months. But on the spiritual plane, we don't know the gestation period for many things. And the gestation period for one, like women, and she's telling me this, that women, the pregnancy is all up, for most people it's 9 months, right? Unless there's an early pregnancy, then it's shorter. But she's saying how when it's in the process of you starting to create something that you want to create, whether it's a creative project like I'm creating this Mother Mary into a spirit guide portal, or you want to create like manifesting more money in your life, or a new career, or better health, your gestation period is going to be different than maybe your neighbors or your best friends, because it all depends, one, where your starting point was, and how many, she's saying, cross currents you have. So if you have a lot of cross currents, she's saying things take longer, the gestation period is longer than if you have full alignment, that you don't have cross currents, you know exactly what you want to be, do, and have, that it'll manifest faster. So she's saying that you have to have patience, because if someone's getting it before you, you don't want to get frustrated with yourself and go, what's wrong with me? Because she says that's the tendency that people do, is that they start to go, what's wrong with me? So-and-so got this easily. Why can't I get it? And so she's saying that it's so important when you're on the path of awakening and you're working with your creative muscle, is that you allow that creative muscle to blossom in the way it's supposed to blossom. Not try to rush it, not try to compare, not try to be like someone else and how they have it, but to allow that creative muscle to blossom. So she's saying that you need to practice creativity. And she's saying that, like, if you actually went and got something to doodle with, because maybe you didn't have anything else, you might think, oh, this is a waste of time. And she's saying no, because you are in the creative flow of allowing, of connecting with higher power, to just go, what do I feel like doodling? What am I being guided to doodle? She's saying that that's important, to feel that feeling of, what am I feeling like I should doodle? And she's asking me to show you this. I did this star, and if you've been here, you've seen it before. But this was created, and was out of, I said one day, I feel like I just want to like feel my way through something. So I got this one to paint this black and then just start putting dots. And this is what has come so far, we're just putting dots. And then from there, from doing these dots, I got to start putting dots on this. Now this Spirit Guide portal had been sitting for a year because I just couldn't feel what Mother Mary was telling me to do next on her. Because that's when I'm following, I follow, like I feel like I really work for the spirit guide that's coming through to guide me on what to do. And sometimes I get to a point where I'm like, I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do next. And I had to wait for that feeling to come back so I could get the guidance. So see, that was patience. I didn't try to force it. I didn't try to get frustrated because I was just like, oh, this isn't quite coming through right now, so let me set her aside until I can get that feeling again. And what happened? I did that dot painting, and then I was walking by her, because I have a room where I keep my spirit guide portals that I'm still working on. And all of a sudden she spoke to me. She said, I want you to start putting dots on me. And so I did. So she's saying, if you, on that journey, that path of awakening, because remember, the path of awakening is a journey. I'm going to step back. When I step out, it's only because I need to see the painting from a distance. And that's one of the spiritual things you always want to realize is that painting, I always tell people, it's like a metaphor for life, because the things that you do in painting are things you need to do in life. So when you paint and you step back to take perspective, you need it. Like Mother Mary, I just realized this. Mother Mary told you earlier to start taking notes, and that notes is to give you that wider perspective, to give you that bigger view of like what's happening in my life. Am I actually making progress on the path of awakening? And so she's saying that you want to start to have that bigger view. Yeah, Francis, thank you. Patience is so important. So Mother Mary's asking, does anybody have any questions about what she said about the path of awakening and patience? If you do, please put them up. She's happy to answer. And she'll give it a minute or two, because for people to put something in if you have one. But she's saying she's very happy to answer anything. I'm going to step out again and see if there's some more guidance she needs to give about it. The thing about when I'm creating her is that, or any of my spirit guides, is that as I'm creating, more comes through. So I always tell people, if you have to leave and you can come back to often there's things said later. So she's also saying that one of the reasons why working on creative projects speeds along your path of awakening is because the important part you need to do if you want to speed your path of awakening is to invite spirit in, invite God in, whatever higher power you call, invite spirit in to paint the painting, to be one with what you're creating. Because that energy then is helping you connect. And also, when you start to follow that desire of what it is you truly want to create, that is awakening your true self. And so when you awaken your true self, that helps or speeds along your path of awakening. So one of the things she's talking about is that you have to work on releasing that programming that tells you creativity is a waste of time, or that there's more important things you have to do, because she's saying that that's the biggest killer of your spiritual growth, because your mind is telling you you have to do the practical, logical stuff. And she's saying it doesn't mean you give up the things that you're responsible for, but that you really, she's showing me like you have to raise the importance of creativity in your life, because we've been told it's not important, and yet it's very important. So she's telling you, raise that level up of that creativity, because it's what's going to help you to grow in your spiritual gifts and grow in your awareness. You know, just like how I was painting, you know, when I first started painting, it's when I came to the realization that, painting's like this metaphor for life, because there's so much of it that it reveals how you live your life. It reveals so much of, like, what you need to do in life. Like I said, I keep stepping back to get perspective on how it looks from a distance. And, you know, when you're close up in your life, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed by what's going on. Anybody feel that way? That sometimes you just can't see really what that next step is, or maybe you're just going through the motions because you can't, that's what you feel like you need to do just to survive. But she's saying no matter what you're feeling, no matter how many struggles you have in life, you have to take a step back, use the power of your creativity, use the power of perspective. And so the creative process, when you're doing it, you learn so much about how you are and maybe what you want to start to shift and change, like to become, because you want to become what? Better at the craft that you're doing. Well, it helps you become better at life. So no questions, huh? Okay, so everybody gets the path of awakening. So she's actually asking everybody who watches this in the video, in the replay, or now, are you willing to raise the level of importance on your practicing or exercising your creative muscle? Because she says that when you start to exercise that create muscle with higher power, you get to decide who that higher power is that you're going to talk to with. You're going to start to see life differently. Because what changes you and your life is your consciousness, your way of looking at it, your perspective. I'm kind of liking the way that's looking. So we're going to So Mother Mary is saying, if you're on this path of awakening and you're willing to cultivate your patience, that it starts with remembering that everything is happening for the betterment of your life. Because when you start to realize that truth, that, oh, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me, that then you get more patience. In order to practice that, you have to be willing to ask the question of curiosity. Right? So you have to ask, like, if something's happened where you go, I don't like this, you have to start to ask yourself, okay, well, what am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to... What am I supposed to learn from this? What's it trying to lead me towards? And just like I think I've shared before about how when I, way back in my 20s, and I wanted to buy a house before I was 30, okay? It was trying to get me to take a sales job because it was going to make it so I could make the money to buy the house before I was 30, and I didn't want to do it, so then it was kind of narrowing my focus so that I would take the job, because I was kept, like, my ego, my part of me that was afraid, didn't want to actually take the sales job. And then I finally took it. And then what happens? I end up making, a lot more money, 3 times the amount of money with, as I built my sales. And that enabled me to buy my house for the down payment when I was 28 years old. So you have to start to go, maybe this is trying to lead me somewhere because what I'm doing isn't working. What I'm doing is, not going to get me the desired outcome I want. So if you can start to ask yourself that. But when you start to believe everything is truly happening for the betterment of your life, you start to get more patient and go, okay, well, I don't know what the gestation period is, but it's going to... I know it's coming. I just don't know the when. I don't know the time period. So... So one of the last things Mother Mary's telling me to share with you now is that just about her in this prayer position, if you know anything about yoga, you know it's the namaste. And she's wanting you to understand she's blessing you. You know, with that, like what people know means is that the soul in me bows to the soul in you. And she's basically bowing to your soul to bless you with the ability that you can let that soul, that true self, come forth. So she's wanting you to welcome in that blessing if you can, of just allowing her to bless you, that she sees your soul. She sees what it is that you're wanting. Here it is. And then if you can just allow that part of you to be seen, even if you're not connected with it right yet, that it'll start to blossom forth. She's saying that that's the most important thing about the path of awakening, is allowing you to awaken your true self, which is your spiritual self. But you've come here with, she's saying the word mission. She's saying you've come here with a mission, and you have to start to own that mission. Instead of thinking you'll get to it next week, or next month, or next year. She's saying you want to start to own that you're going to get to it now. And getting to it now is important. So she's saying that you want to start to honor that. So, we'll be wrapping up pretty soon. Does anybody have a question or a share or anything before we're going to end it? Because I believe next week is my off week. I think I usually do 3 weeks where I paint every week with you guys. And then I do 1 week where I'm not painting. I have to look at the calendar, but you probably won't see a live next week, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but it will be the week after, though, because we'll work some more on Mother Mary. I don't see any questions, though, so I think all right. Oh, got a little something here. I'm going to pull it out. I guess I was supposed to put that there. Go the paintbrush. Just go, well, I guess I'm supposed to put that little spot there. All right, since there's no questions or anything, whoops, making it big, I just clunked over. Going to be, and then step again. I'm going to check one last time with Mother Mary to see if she has any last words of blessings or guidance that she wants to give you. So the only guidance that she's given me is that she's saying she wants you to, well, she's blessing you with the blessings of using your creative muscle, like that you allow that to seep in. Because she's saying as you allow that to seep in, you're going to find yourself like, okay, being open to what creative project do I want to do today? So she's asking you, if you can, to work on creating something every day. Could be cooking something that you've always wanted to cook, but something that you enjoy, not just, oh, I'm creating this because I have to. But it could be you paint, you draw, you knit, you make a meal that you've been wanting to make that you haven't made, but you make something. And if you can make something, even if it's just for 5 minutes, that you'll start to see some transformation. It'll be subtle and slow if you only do 5 minutes, but if you be consistent, you'll start to see it. All right? So thank you to everybody who watches this live or in the recording. I look forward to seeing you in my next live, and blessings to all. Have a miraculous day. I'll see you in the next live.